This video will go over the Unit 3 Summary and Response Essay in English 101. Now this essay is the culmination of the entire unit, and as such it is the final step in quite a process. So students have been working through the Unit 3 assignments up to this point. You should have completed an argument breakdown worksheet, a thesis and outline planner, then you'll complete a rough draft of your essay, and then revise that based on feedback in order to turn in a final summary and response essay. So those are the steps in the unit. There are other videos that talk about the argument breakdown worksheet and the thesis and outline planner. So at this stage, if you're working on the rough draft or final draft of your summary response essay, this video should walk through some of the key components of that essay. We'll start by taking a look at the assignment instructions itself. Remember that you are summarizing and responding to the article that's been assigned by your instructor. That's R2. This particular semester, the reading is listed here as the Pandemic's Remote Learning Legacy, but if you're watching this in a future semester, you may have a different reading listed. Know that you can always go to the Course Readings tab on the left-hand sidebar in order to see the schedule of readings for the semester that you are in. Those readings will also be located on the course schedule and in the announcements, so you should be very familiar with the readings that you're using. If we go back to the assignment instructions, you'll see that it does list the reading that you should be summarizing and responding to. Essentially, what you're going to do is write a full APA formatted summary and response. So you're going to have an introduction, then you're going to have a summary paragraph that uses the elements of a summary to explain the argument and the main points in the article. Then you're going to respond to that article by deciding whether you agree or disagree with the claim made by the author. And you're going to address that based on the three major points that they've used throughout the essay in order to support their point. You're going to finish off your essay with a conclusion and then an APA references page. So this is what it looks like on the assignment instructions, and this is what it looks like in diagram form. I will be linking to this throughout the course, so you'll have access to this resource as well. It tells you what information needs to go into the introduction, what information goes in the summary, what information goes in each of the response paragraphs. You'll note that I've color-coded this. In the summary, you should identify the first piece of support, the second piece of support, and the third piece of support. And then each of those is going to become the basis for one of the paragraphs in the response section of the paper. Those paragraphs should be organized by first addressing the point that was made in the original article, R2. Then you're going to include information from your own life and your own experiences. Tell me what your opinion is on this topic and whether you agree or disagree with the author. And then tie in some support from reading 3. This is the additional article that you found on your own that is also about the same topic. This is the only place in the article where you'll use R3. The rest of the essay is going to be based on R2. Make sure that you're using citations throughout. There are citation example resources. There's a summary cheat sheet. There's an APA video that shows you how to do the references page for this assignment. Those resources are also all linked in the course. This, for example, is the summary cheat sheet. It will tell you exactly how to format that first introduction sentence where you're introducing the article that you're going to be summarizing and responding to. So in the essay diagram, that's up here. On the assignment instructions, that happens here in the introduction. I'll also show you there is a sample summary. So this is a sample summary response essay, and you'll see here that this is the introduction sentence in this particular example, but you'll see that you're following the format from the summary cheat sheet in order to make sure that you're appropriately formatting each of the pieces. There's also information in the diagram that links to the citations that you'll be using. And I've created this citation examples sheet to show you exactly how to include paraphrasing examples and citations for direct quotes as well. And I've color-coded this as well so that you can see that paraphrasing citations include last name and year. This is an embedded example, this is a narrative example, and then with direct quotes you add in the page or paragraph number depending on whether it's a printed source or an online source. So you can see again, this is an embedded example and this is a narrative example for direct quotes. So this resource is also available to you. It's linked here on the essay diagram. It's also linked on the sample summary. So if we look at this sample summary response, it is a full essay and I have included notes and comments on the right hand side that helps you kind of understand what it is you're reading. And then if there are additional resources that I think will be helpful, I've linked to those as well. So you can see this is the citations example document that I was just on. And there's additional information that will help you flesh out your final paper or your rough draft. I've also included a video that shows you how to do the reference for reading 2. I'll make sure to update that anytime I change the reading for this assignment, so there should be an accurate video available for you. So those are the resources available to you as you're working on this assignment. Make sure that you're reviewing the sample summary response to make sure that you're meeting those requirements. Check the assignment guidelines. It should be a minimum of 3 full written pages. And remember that you're using APA format. So there's specific guidelines for the size of the font and 1-inch margins. Make sure that it's double spaced and that you have a completed APA title page and an APA references page as well. The last thing that I want to do in this video is to actually go over a little bit about summary and response writing. So initially you're summarizing the original article, which means you're going to identify the main idea, the author or the author's purpose and audience, and then identify 3 major points that the author is making in order to support their main idea. The final part of a summary is always a statement about the author's conclusion. Not the conclusion that they've drawn, but how they concluded the article. How did they end their article? So you are going to be summarizing, essentially telling your audience what was said in the original article. Imagine that they haven't read it, and it's your job to tell them what the article said. So that's what you're doing in the summary. Then in the response part of your essay, you are going to respond individually to all 3 of the major points that you identified up here in the summary. So each one of these major points is going to become one of your response paragraphs. Begin by identifying what the actual article said to begin with. What does the author have to say about this? What point are they making? And then come in with your own response information, and then support your response with information from reading 3. Now it's important to note that you do not have to use reading 3 in all 3 of your response paragraphs. You may only use it twice, but definitely try to use it more than once. Just know that you don't have to have it in every single paragraph. And then finally, you're going to end with a conclusion. This is your essay, so this should be your conclusion. Don't just restate the author's main idea and their points. Restate your thesis about whether or not you agree or disagree with the author. And then restate your major points, explaining why you agree or disagree with point 1, why you agree or disagree with point 2, and so on and so forth. Hopefully that helps you have a better understanding of everything that's required for the summary response essay. Know that you can always email me if you have any additional questions.